fine. There's no obvious openings for either in terms of you know, something that can be abused. And I think T1 just looks like a significantly better team. Maybe not significantly. Maybe that word is too harsh. I think
you already said it though.
Okay. Well, I can't take that back. Significantly better T1 Dota up against Viking GG. Let's go.
Okay. You sound really biased, Jenkins. My
yes,
goodness.
Of course.
Very biased indeed.
I don't get that. I feel I just like to see good Dota, dude. That's all I care about.
That's all we all want. But there's the Bushwhack to start things out. Carl will get first blooded in very easy fashion for Viking. Some damage applied to Kezu, though. He's hit by the arrow. But he is a Timbersaw, so he will survive. Seller actually taking the level 1 Nature's Attendance to heal him back up. And first blood the way of Vikings. So good start for them. This is exactly what they need. But yeah, talk to me about these lineups.
I think Aoi was correct. I think that this is a relatively free Timbersaw game. As we see there, he is getting the first blood. That is definitely going to help out. That hero getting some early Bracer plus Soul Ring, you know, maybe some Orb of Venom. Like, these things really help him out in lane. So that is not necessarily a hero that you want to give first blood, but I think if you were to give it to Boom, it would be even worse. You never want to give the mid laner first blood.
Yep, that's definitely true. I mean, thoughts on Invoker this game? Well, actually, let's talk about something else before we get into this. Yep. Jenkins, almost called you Cinderin again. Man, it's just really muscle memory there.
Yeah, I got it.
I was calling for a Slark before the Razor pick, that is.
You can call me Cinderin, by the way.
Okay, Cinderin, I really appreciate it. Can I call you a robot as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Slark looked really good this game before they picked up the Luna.
Healing power.
And I'm just wondering, from your perspective, obviously Slark's just kind of not a hero right now, but your thoughts on Luna as a carry in this meta? Because seen a lot of different analysts give different answers on this. Some people think it's okay. Some people really hate it. Some say it's just very snowballing. If you just don't continue the snowball, you just get wrecked.
Oh,
the arrow actually is going to connect on the exact person we're talking about.
But he has a DK on. Okay, we got a little too hype about that. There's a DK in lane. He has Breathe Fire. Yeah, that is not going to get any kills.
So yeah, what's your stance on Luna?
She's fine. She has a really strong 20-minute timing. I think it's hard to farm against her because she just has the built-in Battle Fury, and all of these other heroes, TA, same thing. Same reason why she's pretty strong. Battle Fury heroes got nerfed, so if you want to pick a hero that like has a really... Oh, Kezu might die.
Hey, misses that Timber Chain. Whitemon doesn't really have a ton of damage. It's only 1 level of reactive armor, but it is providing him some pretty good HP regen right now.
Yeah, once again, we're getting a little too hype at these 0 damage.
Kezu very low on HP. Yeah, that's true.
Going up the high ground, he does have the Timber Chain up.
I mean, he did miss, as Zephyr's going to pop the Fairy Fire there. Now, Cuckoo taking some pressure as well. This is, I mean, you kind of brought it up, but the offlane DK this time. Do you prefer a position for this hero?
I like offlane. I think his stun is exactly what you want from an offlaner. I think his tankiness, ability to take towers, is what you want from an offlaner. He doesn't do that much damage. And you want your mid laner a lot of the times to be active and do damage.
Right.
So it does make a lot of sense to me as an offlaner, but I think as a mid, it's fine as well. The hero's just really OP.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this position 5 DK before. I know that Arkosh Gaming did lose to it one time.
That was a position 4
Oh, was it a 4?
Yes,
sorry,
that was position 4. I did watch that game.
Yeah, what did you think? Do you think it had some... you think that's a lot of strength there?
Yeah, I said at the time that Theban is a genius and that 4DK is god tier.
I see.
He was way ahead of the meta, legitimately. And so was I with my analysis.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you were hired to every event since then.
Yeah,
Cinderin.
What does he even call you? I think he just ignores you for the most part.
He literally casts by himself. People haven't realized it yet. It's actually just 2 solo casters. Accelerate. Going to be pretty healthy here overall. And Carl against Boom. All right, EMP looks like it's going to connect with the right clicks to follow. Fair Fire is popped, though. Boom, forcing him completely out of lane right now. He just gets so many free hits. But you can see the CS. I mean, this is kind of what's expected here from a Quaswex Invoker. Just getting dominated. Doubling up is the Razor.
I don't know if doubling up is what is exactly
expected.
What you would okay. Yeah, this obvious matchup, we've seen this time and time again.
That's true. This is another hero that's like, we see it offlane sometimes. We see it position 1, like with EG throwing it out there all the time.
Yeah.
But we see it mid this game.
I think mid makes a lot of sense because you're just so fast. You can run around and be incredibly active, and from mid lane you can get anywhere. So literally, I mean, I feel like that's bad analysis, but you look at his third spell, it's literally just move speed. So, like, it's going to be talked about how speedy he is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not like the typical mid laner that you're, you know, super mobile, but mobile in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, literally just he runs fast.
Yeah, he has the most boring passive in the game now, I think.
It's good, though.
It is good.
12% for the 1 point.
Yeah,
that's
for
God
sure.
tier.
And 23 Savage in this bot lane. 21-3 in terms of the last hits versus the 19-5 Luna, so pretty close across the board there. And not, you know, only that 1 kill at the beginning of the game, as we're going to see Carl getting pressured a bit. The cold snap was there. TP actually canceled as we see these little baby golems going a little bit to work here.
The thing is, that rotation, it doesn't do much because there's no push, so it's just for damage, really. And 23 Savage, he's fine on the bot lane. One thing a lot of people don't realize is maybe he's not fine. Maybe I'm cursing him.
I mean, this is Kezu's probably his best hero, I would say, the Timber Saw. And I mean, at a certain point, he's just going to be too tanky to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. I think at some point you're going to have to leave and then probably put the Razor versus the Timber Saw. But in the early game, if you're Spectre, I mean, all you need to do is like sidestep dodge the Timber Saw stuff, which 23 Savage is doing a really good job doing. And he doesn't really pressure you that hard. It's like you have to get slowly harassed down to die to a Timber. And if your support's buying, you know, salves and of course he has the Cold Embrace, you're fine.
Yeah. That's a lot of denies mid, though. 27 and 12. That is... Wow. That is very good CS right now for Carl. He's in the base right now, but yeah, this does feel like one of those heroes that scales a lot better than it used to. The Razor, that is. I mean, what kind of a build do you like seeing on this hero these days? Obviously dependent on position.
Yeah, the build now seems to be some Treads build to just be tanky and usually rushing a really early BKB. Usually it's Treads BKB on offlane, but it looks like he's going Treads Yule's BKB because he's a mid laner, so he's gonna have a lot more farm than an offlaner would. Oh, he's getting gone on mid.
Yeah, EMP's actually could connect, so completely out of mana. TP is coming for White Mon. He gets the Cold Embrace off. Celery gets his heal off in turn. And this will break things up, but it did require 2 members of T1 to make their way over here. Plasma Field into the static link, so boom. He actually just going to TP out. He's taking so much damage, and Carl ends up taking him out. A little bit surprising turnaround there for T1.
Yeah, Carl just being... Okay, well, I mean, this does leave 23 Savage bot solo against a Timber. He's not quite level 6, but 23 is going to need to leave pretty soon. But Carl just positioning very carefully against this Enchantress. He doesn't even have vision of it. He just suspected that this rotation was probably coming, given that Chad has been left alone top.
Yep, that is true. Zephyr getting some nice D-ward action here. 23 Savage is getting pressure quite a bit. Kezu not quite level 6, though, so... The Chakram obviously would have a huge impact on his ability to pressure out Savage. And it's only a matter of time before Kezu, I feel like at least, takes over this lane. But and there we go. The level 6 is now online.
I'm not even sure. I don't think you can put the Razor against this. Even, like, as long as Viking put the supports here, I think just sacking the tower and playing around the Timber Saw and avoiding him is the play. Like, White Mon's just going to maybe defend this, but he has 2 points in Cold Embrace, so he can't just Splinter Blast this out.
Yeah, he could be kind of a nuisance here. Maybe just delay the inevitable. It's going to pop the fortification to start things out. I mean, so many times in the last couple months, we've seen this Tier 1 tower actually be defended a little bit more than I'm used to seeing, at least. Okay,
so Kezu's trying to respond to the pressure top. I really like what Kuku's doing. He sees that this Timber is a real problem, so pressure's top to either get the tower and take a trade or force the Timber top where no objective is going to be taken. And then he TP's bot. Very nice.
And White Mon pops that Arctic burn. You see the stun come online already onto Shad. Gonna get the nice bushwhack from Aramis to slow things down. Breathe Fire's there. Kuku trying to chase him down. Gets a couple more right clicks in. He's going to tick down just a bit. Oh, actually, stutter steps there. That might cost him a bit. But no, the TP is going to force out Kuku. But then again, the Luna has to go all the way back to base now. So they end up defending this tower successfully, but it did require a few TPs, of course.
I think that's pretty good for T1 just because of the lurking, you know, Timber Saw problem that we're talking about. You can see here, like, Carl's not even able to really lane against him just because he's so high level on Timber. He's doing so much pure damage. And The only problem here is that Cuckoo and 23 are in the same area. So 23 now has to go jungle, and Cuckoo takes the lane, which is a little bit awkward. Spectre doesn't jungle particularly fast, but I don't think you have any other option versus Timber. You need to force him around like this.
Shad with the Morbid Mass, so can start the Jungle, as they call it. Couple points in Moonglaves right now. And, I mean, I feel like the variation in builds for Luna hasn't really been that wide. But then again, a lot of position ones, it feels like that's kind of the case.
Yeah, I think the reason behind that is because, for the most part, usually timings are determined by you as a carry. It's like, the reason that this hero is picked as a carry is because some certain like item timing or build is really good, and so everybody else builds around that.
Right, to just be able to align themselves, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what you were saying with the Yule Scepter in the previous game. It's like the Tide had to do that because of the other hero's item timings as opposed to his. It's all about the carries.
That's something that you will never encounter in pubs. Literally ever. Oh, Tornado
not.
Into EMP. Cuckoo gets bushwhacked as well. Out of mana completely right now. You can see Whitemon in the trees down here. Cuckoo, he's taking heavy damage. He has to be careful. This is Impetus we're talking about. This is a Timber Saw as well. But basically all of T1 are down here, other than the Spectre. Does not have Haunt right now. Carl taking heavy damage thanks to the Chakram with the Impetus on the side. Cold Embrace is there. They don't have enough damage to burst through him, though. Dragon Tail onto Kezu into the Plasma Field. This is enough magic damage to take out that tanky Timber Saw. And with that, Viking, actually, I was going to say they're going to back up, but instead they're going to try to get the turnaround because they do so successfully onto Carl. The question is, can they get out with any more casualties? Dragon Tail, looks like Celery's going to have to sack his life here. Double kill for Cuckoo. Did cost them their mid-Razor, though.
I mean, T1, I don't think that fight should go so well for them, just given the heroes that they have. They didn't have level 6 on either of their supports, and this Timber is completely snowballing, but they're just playing the fight so well with the kiting. Once again, Whitemon with the Cold Embraces and, you know, TPing in on Razor. Even without the move speed buff in his ability, Carl is able to like juke and jive there and stay alive until the last possible second. He does eventually go down, but once again, like we talked about it, this Timber's a real problem. You have nothing to deal with him, and so if you're taking these good trades in front of your tower, even if you're losing the tower, I don't think you expect to do that with the heroes that you have right now.
And you can see 23 Savage is, I believe it's coming now, is the Blade Mail. So kind of showing Viking, hey, this is what you should have built last game, maybe. Obviously some uncontrollable damage, or AoE if you want to call it, especially with the Timber Saw.
Luna, you just haunt it when she presses ult, and then Blade Mail, and she murders herself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great counter. It's one of those things that I'm a little surprised that they Viking didn't pick up the Blade Mail, just because I remember back in the day when this Luna and Leshrac hero were getting picked a lot, and Gyrocopter, like, Spectre was the answer when Blade Mail was the build. Sure, maybe it's not the best item, but it's the reason that the hero countered those heroes.
And right now, Viking have a slight lead in terms of net worth, and obviously, position one-wise, Luna is going to be one of the fastest farmers in the game, so can't be too shocked with that. 500 net worth lead over the Spectre right now. And into the jungle we go. So Blade Mail obviously going to be helping out, being able to kill those jungle camps, so it gives him, I wouldn't call it flash farm potential, but closes the gap a little bit more on Shad potentially.
Speaking of flash farming, I just heard the Dragonite ult, and I was thinking, what the hell? Why did I hear there's a fight going on? He's just using it to farm. Cuckoo's just chilling.
The level 1 dragon farm.
It's interesting to see decisions like that, because it's just not obvious, you know? It's like, oh, I'm going to use this to fight. Well, if you don't think that you're going to fight, or if you're going to farm into fight, then maybe using it to farm a jungle camp. It's so simple, but it's just a little deviation from most pro play that you don't see that often.
Yeah, we're going to see the bushwhack, but the stun comes out onto the Hoodwink, and the ult is going to completely miss as a result. You can see the stacks already taken by Spectre. They did get the deny on that tier 1 tower, which is what they were looking for, but yeah, Spectre very low in the jungle right now, but still farming very well overall.
Viking's pretty happy with how the game is going so far, though. It's slowed down a little bit by the fact that T1 just played the bot fight really well, and T1's doing a really good job delaying. But still, you have a 2-tower advantage, and now you have Kezu planted in front of this top tower on Timber. So I don't think without like a 5-man rotation, they're going to kill this guy. And so they can just hold this map position right here, where they have all of these heroes separately farming, and there's not much that T1 can do without taking a smoke. I think they need to smoke very quickly right now, which it looks like they are going to do that.
Yeah, while we have this smoke here, Well, maybe we'll just wait on this conversation a bit.
You have to break this map position, right? It's just like 2 towers down. You need to get a tower.
Yep, Dragonform's not up for another 12 seconds because he did use it for farming, as you said.
He's got it,
see the courier, so this will give them the avenue in which they know where the Timbersaw should be hiding.
He's got his blink as well. They put a nice ward down, and they're just doing some wraparound on the mid tower.
Boom is invisible in the vicinity, though, so we'll break the smoke if they get any closer, along with that tier 1 tower. Kazoo, yep, that's going to be the initiation. Dragon Tail to follow, but the arrow did actually connect. The Starstorm to follow. Kazoo taking heavy damage. Actually, Timber Chains into the tree that was right next to him. Big Winter's Curse now. Splinter Blast to follow. Looks like the Sharpshooter did connect onto the Razor, but look at this damage coming out. Shad finally comes in with that ultimate. They blow up Cuckoo now. That's the first casualty here for T1. That's a big one. Now Zephyr initiated on by Kezu. Burst damage out of control right now. So nice turnaround for Viking. They seem to be very ready for that rotation.
Yeah, that was cool. They seemed to... I don't think there was any ward or anything. It was just, you know, how the map was positioned and how all the lanes were pushed in. As we can see here, the arrow does connect, but... just with the hood, he's too tanky.
Timber Chain. I don't know, I find that so funny.
And that's all it took,
really
man.
Matter.
He just needed a little baby Timber Chain.
I guess so.
He Gucci.
Yeah, but this was a... I mean, I thought that T1's definitely going to win this, but then Shaq comes in from the bottom with that Eclipse and turns this thing around.
God, it always feels weird when... Oh, there. Every time we come back, it's Whitemon dying. I don't know. Why does that happen?
I mean, it is a support hero, so it's not the most unlikely thing, I guess. But yeah, him specifically for sure.
Poor guy. It's always him, though.
Kazu is plate mail away from the Lotus Orb, has the hood intact right now. This looks to be a tier 1 for Viking. While we have a little bit of downtime, I do want to talk about Boom's build here. Went for the Spirit Vessel, which the panel was kind of talking about against the, you know, the Cold Embrace and whatnot. So we got to hold the horses here again. Cuckoo spotted out. EMP, Sharpshooter. And he's slowed thanks to that ice wall. That is more than enough for Viking to get yet another kill. 3K net worth lead at 16 minutes. Not too shabby.
Yeah, I like this vessel build a lot. Oh, as we see, Kazu.
Yeah, but the reason I wanted to bring this up is because a lot of invokers in the major, like Miracle and whatnot,
Midas,
go for
right?
the Midas after the Spirit Vessel, but we're not seeing that here. He's going for the BKB. What are your thoughts?
This is a very Viking GG sort of thing. This is what they do. They seem to... I would like to ask them about this in an interview. I probably should have done that instead of asking vegan questions yesterday.
I enjoyed those at least.
Thank you. But they do always seem to rush a BKB on one of their heroes. It's sometimes on Boom. It's sometimes on Kezu. Timbersaw is not going to rush a BKB in this game because he's Timbersaw, and so it looks like it's kind of falling on Boom, but he needed the Vessel first.
All right, we got Cuckoo in Dragon form. They're smoked out. The Blink initiation again, this time onto the Invoker. Bushwhack only going to connect on one. And Boom takes a tumble. And with this, obviously in Dragon form, that'll allow you to push these towers. So the tier 1 tower looks to be in peril for Viking. Not sure if Armus can actually defend this. He's just going to take the Blink Dragon Tail again into the arrow. So double kill for Zephyr of all heroes.
Man, and that's just set up by that beautiful ward that they placed down during that first smoke. And okay, immediately gets dewarded by Celery, but just goes to show what, you know, smoking and putting vision does. Even if you don't get anything off of that play, you eventually do, as long as you put wards down.
Yeah,
another one.
This is the third setup now for the arrow into the Starstorm, and that's enough burst damage to get through Enchantress again. So Viking getting picked apart right now.
Whitemon is officially, I know we said this in the previous game, but he's officially the MVP again because of the wards. He didn't do anything there, but the prior ward placement is legitimately all that it took. It's hard to like emphasize. Like in the game, it just, you don't even know why he's a core player. It just feels good to play.
He did literally nothing. Yeah. But he's the MVP.
Well, the cores did literally nothing either. They're just like, oh, I'm going to get these pickoffs. Nobody even thanks the support for putting the wards down.
That's true. That's a common practice, though.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, this game feels really good right now. Whitemon's just like, guys, I put so much effort into those wards.
Poor young man.
And then he dies when we come back to him every single time on camera.
Mean, it's basically evened up in terms of net worth, and now they're going to find another potential kill onto Boom. And he's showing that BKB off is Carl with that Razor. Very nicely done. And another value kill. It feels like in the last couple minutes, T1 has turned this around. They were down 3K, which is nothing to scoff at. That was pretty substantial, about the 16, 15-minute mark. Now I've just turned this around completely with the BKBs. But yeah, 23 Savage, this is the hero that we were looking for, the Spectre. Almost done with his Manta style. That's going to amplify a lot of that damage coming after him. And we can see on the net worth, though, that Mr. Luna himself is pretty much farming out of control.
Right, for sure. But this is a reflection of the last game, where you have one lineup that has like a Spectre DK, heroes that aren't particularly fast at farming, and heroes that want to go late game, and they're surviving, so they're happy.
Cuckoo, he gets the whip on himself, gives him that extra move speed. Very important to distinct this, as Cuckoo takes that Dragon Tail. The Spirit Vessel applied as well. Gets the Eclipse off, though. And that's going to be enough to take out Zephyr in all likelihood, but Shad is already extremely low here. Can they finish him off? They do with that Plasma Field, but it will cost them their Dragon Knight. 3 for 1. Definitely not exactly what you want to look for if you're a T1 fan. Carl, Sunstrike. Oh, just off. Of course, it's not that high of a level of Sunstrike, but either way, Carl's going to hop the BKB and a Static Link along with his ult. He's actually trying to stay in this fight. 1 versus 3. Can he get Boom? It's not going to happen. I like the balls on that play.
Yeah, that was sick. That was sick. He could have just ran away, but he just turns and fights. 1v4.
I mean, they lost 4, right? So that they lose the Luna pretty early here. Yeah, Carl's like, you know what? Screw it. He was already like 25% HP. I mean, I don't blame him, though, because Keza doesn't do any damage when BKB's activated, right? He's just a right-click robot guy.
Yeah.
He's not really a robot.
Which
it's
hero?
Not like you, Synderen. Yeah.
which hero are you even talking about?
Timbersaw.
Okay.
It's a goblin in a mechanical
guy in the robot.
Vehicle. Yeah.
I got corrected on it. I said Alchemist was the guy that's being ridden, and people were very mad.
Yeah, that's the ogre.
I didn't listen.
That's the ogre. Nobody notices the true alchemist, the greed man. It's Whitemon getting picked off again. Anytime Jenkins talks, he does.
No, it's the replay. Stop putting the replay up, and he'll stop dying.
Yeah, true. Ooh, Arrow actually connects on the Satyr, so Selly has to pick up something else now. So with that last fight, obviously, like I said, they lose Shad, who's the top net worth in the game, but they get 4 kills on the top of it, and Viking back in the lead again. And they're going to try to get this Roshan. It's already at half HP. It is being scanned out, so T1 do know this is happening. Moonlight Shadow is activated. They have the sentry down. They can see this, though. Plasma Field, Spirit Vessel into the Tornado. Tornado will not clip him as Cuckoo actually jumps into the thick of things. Haunt is popped as well. Boom now on the run. You can see the Meteor, and Cuckoo is in a lot of trouble, but those illusions are doing so much damage on that Spectre. He's on the cliff. Sunstrike with the Chakram. Do they have enough damage to take him out? They do with that Timber Chain, and that should secure them Roshan now.
Really nice poking from Viking there. They didn't commit, and they Carl's BKB, when he didn't really want to use it, he was trying to reset by losing only 10-20% HP and then walk back in with the BKB, but he wasn't able to do that because they were just poking him from far away.
They still have Curse here.
Yeah, but they're dead 1. Both times they're missing 1 person.
This would be pretty risky if they try to go for this Roshan. His arm is taking so much damage. The Starstorm and the right clicks is enough. Back to 4v4 now, but Whitemon again. We didn't have a replay of that time. Sorry about that. As we had Roshan being successfully taken by Vikings. So Shad will have the Aegis now. And we'll see how they're able to use this in the next 5 minutes.
There are some solo kills going the way of T1, though, where I think you're pretty happy that these are happening, despite being in a game where, you're obviously losing in terms of tempo right now. But the solo kill for where Carl got the kill on our Luna here, that's pretty big because you have one of the highest level heroes dying, and then of course Aramis running in and getting a solo kill as well.
I mean, who would you
going down?
Who would you favor at this state of the game? 2K net worth lead for Viking. They have the Aegis.
I think Viking have the ability to push. So I think them having a lead, even though T1's late game is pretty incredible, I think that Viking can still push. But if you're T1, it's not an insurmountable gold lead by any means.
Yeah, this is still relatively close.
It really depends on how the next fight goes, but we do have an Aegis on Viking now, so...
Yeah, win probability is almost 50-50, slightly in favor of T1, actually, mainly because of that Spectre late game potential. And we have seen these Lunas kind of fall off a cliff at a certain point with 1 or 2 bad deaths. As, looks like T1 are going to find the Enchantress. Spirit Vessel's applied, and essentially backstab them there, so that gives them the numbers advantage at the very least. Moonlight Shadow still applied right now. Kezu is going to be spotted out.
23 steeping in.
Static Link doesn't really last very long, though. Dragon Tail is going to be reflected thanks to that Lotus Orb. Bushwhack onto 2, and here comes the Eclipse. There's a lot of creeps to tank that up. And look at this damage to Cuckoo, and yeah, He's able to be bursted down by Kezu. Timbersaw, very good against Dragon Knight. Who would have thought?
Big Viking.
Yeah, Viking thought that, I think. And with that 4K net worth advantage and the Aegis, we'll see if they can go high ground.
So we do have Haunt still on 23, so he can come back to this fight, but 22 seconds on our Razor, so that means that this tower, at the very least, is probably going to go down before he comes back alive. Yeah, and then maybe we take the fight.
This is an Alacrity Luna. And once this tier 3 goes down, this is where Luna really shines. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be, at the very least, a melee racks. You have to think they come in here despite having 5 available heroes on T1 side. Yeah, that's a full set of racks. You can see the TP's coming in, though. Arrow is going to connect on Luna. Remember, he has Aegis, though. Carl with that BKB, not scared of anybody right now. And Shad getting 4-staffed, getting healed now. And at T1, doesn't look like they want to go in. EMP not going to really connect on anybody as Carl's getting turned around on. Gets the Cold Embrace off. The Sunstrike is coming, though, with the burst damage from Kezu is enough to finish him off. And now Shad continuing his onslaught here. They lose the Hoodwink, but it's 4v4. And inside the enemy base, Cuckoo. Again, just Shad is just doing way too much damage right now with that Alacrity applied. Oh, can they actually turn this around onto 23 Savage? He's pretty much out of mana, but there's the curse.
Oh, he's dead.
Invoker is, his own buff turned against him. Very sad to see if you're a Viking fan. Now, Shad wants to back up here with the rest of his team. Still has the Aegis, though. But yeah, they don't have the numbers anymore, so they will be very happy with that full set of racks.
Nice curse from Whitemon, once again. Really good patience. You get that racks though just because of those early deaths on T1. It's awkward. You don't want to buy back on DK because if you don't have the Razor alive, you're not fighting that regardless. So it's like that buyback just doesn't matter. Right. They need both.
Now Shad has his Scotty fully intact. We didn't even talk about the SNY with Dragonlance. He was queuing up Hurricane Pike, but might actually go for Butterfly instead now. Yeah, that looks to be the case. So. And this Luna is super scary right now. Gonna be spotted out here, but nobody wants to go on her. They just assume everybody's behind her. Of course, the Aegis, like we talked about, still there. But tier 2s are still online for T1 in the mid and the top lane. So I think they... from Vikings' perspective, are you... Oh, I was gonna say, are they gonna wait a little bit, but no. They're gonna get that bushwhack off, and yeah!
What the?
Sniped out by Aramis. Whew.
That's an insane amount of damage.
That's Hoodwink. The hero that everybody hated at the major, except for you and me, Jenkins.
You know what? We repped Hoodwink. Okay?
I mean, to be fair, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah, no, so was I.
It's not amazing. It's
but
okay.
Everybody's like, oh, this hero's complete garbage.
Yeah.
It is a bait, though, because it's really fun. So that's the issue with it. Is it's like, is it garbage? Am I just...
Well, Razor up in 20 seconds. And again, with this Alacrity, Shad, no more Aegis, though. We'll have the wand now instead. Looking for this mid-racks. You can see Whitemon on the sideline here, looking for a good curse, potentially. We saw it work pretty well last time. This is going to be a full set of racks again. So Viking, 2 full racks on their side. And they, if they want, can just get control of the map and go for the second Roche whenever it comes up.
Whitemon's kind of setting up here, but it is awkward with how the Winter's Curse works now.
Right.
So you don't get that extra duration if there are no creeps.
Yep. Oh, we do have... Okay, this is kind of scary.
This is
we have to keep an eye on Whitemon on the bottom right of your screen to make sure that he doesn't die here.
Uh-oh, they're smoking.
Yeah, we can see that the Winter's Curse, they're pretty freaking good as... That's quite zoomed in. Whitemon's alive. What is this?
Oh, all it takes is laughter.
I actually love the fact that all the players have their cams on.
It's good.
It makes it so much more enjoyable,
it's good stuff, yeah.
Oh, all right. They're going to try to initiate onto Kezu. Haunt is out as well. Plasma Field to follow. They will be able to get him. 70 seconds on the deck. No buyback whatsoever. And the Haunt finally being expended. Celery. We had the Winter's Curse and the Dragon Tail. Not the greatest layering from T1. But regardless, they will find this kill on the Enchantress. And we'll see if he has... No buyback on him either. So 5 versus 3, Jenkins. How much damage can they do here?
I'm pretty sure they can go high ground on T1. Then again, if I'm T1, we don't know whether these heroes have buyback or not.
True.
There's a lot of like these random mixed items on both of these heroes. there's nothing that really indicates that like they wouldn't have buyback. They haven't bought back. They haven't bought out any like crazy new items, nothing like that. So play the map. I think 2 racks down, you still have a Spectre, you know, that you can go back and push out the base and still have the Haunt available to like take these plays across the map with like the DK stun. So it's really not the worst lineup to have a 2 racks deficit. You know, obviously you don't want to play with 2 racks deficit, but if there's any one that you want to play with, it's some heroes that have global like this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure they've been in this scenario before. All these Spectre players are used to having to, you know, just give up the laning stage, at least historically.
It seems like every game. It seems like every game.
Like, all right, we'll just be down like 5, 6K, you know, 30 minutes in the game, but we can come back because it is a Spectre after all.
Yep.
Who now has the Scotty, working towards a Basher now, it looks like. And yeah, I mean, the networks aren't like, obviously Luna has a great advantage right now, but it could be a lot worse for sure on T1's side, like you said. And we'll see how much net worth Viking are able to expand upon here with this 2 racks advantage. Because theoretically, when you get the racks down, you should be able to get good map control and just kind of starve them out. We're going to have a 5-man smoke from Viking as they make their way towards... Yeah, Roshan not up yet, so even if they get a pick, it won't be into a Rosh. Although it looks like the timer's pretty low. Actually.
Viking, it looks like they're drawing a pretty long wraparound here.
Yeah, they're showing Kezu in the mid lane.
Oh my god, amazing positioning though from T1.
Yeah, we have the Moonlight Shadow. Will they initiate onto Kezu again is the question.
They've got it now.
See the sentry being placed here. So they have a little bit of vision. There's the initiation. They're going to try to find the Hoodwink to start things out. Looks like he's going to be the first casualty for. Carl pops his BKB. Static Link applied to Boom. Trying to TP out. Will not be successful, though. 5 versus 3 just like that. And with the numbers advantage, T1 can clean up Kezu relatively easily. The Yules will keep him alive a little bit longer, but not long enough. Double kill for Cuckoo. And now Celery is in a lot of trouble. Will be chased down here. Spectral Dagger's not there yet, but there's the Diffusal. The Inhibit, as we like to call it, Jenkins. And that is going to be the 4th dead with 0 trades. And Roshan is up. This is where it gets really scary for Viking.
That is such cool presence of mind from Cuckoo. Just knowing that Kezu is obviously baiting there. You could see that T1 predicted the smoke. I don't know who called that, but just knowing that that smoke was happening and then seeing Kezu break it like that, Cuckoo knows that there's a backline that he can jump on, and it's basically the perfect hero for that. You don't want the Enchantress. She is a support, but she's very tanky. They get the Invoker and the Hoodwink. Like, these are the 2 heroes that you want to get, and he guessed. He just guessed. He knew that they would be there because of where the Timber was positioned.
Yeah, you can see the warding there from Viking.
That's Viking. Yeah, they didn't.
Just a blind pick, and it worked out quite well.
Just like I mean, insane game sense.
All right, let's keep an eye on Whitemon here as we come back from the replay.
Yeah, everybody's dead, so I hope. Oh, thank God.
He didn't die to Roshan.
Thank God, my boy.
But yeah, this game in terms of net worth is going to be very even now. But this second Rosh is a huge deal. It's going to be the Aegis, Cheese, and Shard.
Okay, let's talk about the Shard, because I know this is your favorite part.
It is, it is.
What is Razors?
None of them are that
Razors
good.
Is garbage. Spectres.
Actually, AUI thinks the... Oh, Sunstrike? No, not enough to kill him. And with the Aegis. Yeah, let's see who takes the Shard. Okay, it will be on Spectre. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We can see the EMP. Carl's going to pop the BKB. Static Link applied to Kezu. Timber chains, but it's still in range of the Static Link. That's a lot of damage being stolen for Carl to try to right-click. The Winter Scar's now on the BKB target for now to Boom. 23 Savage taking a ton of damage. In the meantime, the Cold Embrace keeps him alive for a little bit longer. But remember, he does have the Aegis. The Dragon Knight dies, though. That's a pretty big deal for T1 as the buybacks are coming. Now the chase on, we see the bash onto Kezu in the meantime. 23 Savage trying to do as much damage as he can. The cheese is popped by Razor in the meantime to be able to take out the Invoker who bought back already. Now the Static Link onto Shat. This is going to be T1 taking this fight very easily. And they have the Aegis advantage. And Celery again, the slow-ass kill here. I think they've turned this around successfully, Jenkins.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, Whitemon. I know all we do is talk about this guy, whether it's the camera coming back to him. Oh, okay. 23 Savage.
Being shown. Oh, the bash! Mid-Timber chain. Now the Arctic Burn applied. The bash continues. And Kezu is down for 70.
Wow.
My goodness.
Did they have... They must have had vision of him walking into there. I mean, that's still really cool. 23 Savage, he doesn't have ult, but once again, with how this game is progressing, you know, even Spectre late game, You're winning the fights. You have the tempo. I think you're just okay with like not getting anything off of this, you know? You'd like to get some towers, but if you just farm it and like take over the map, you're okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, Aegis and Cheese were used, so you're not going to have that right now. The Shard was picked up by Spectre like we talked about, which is the dispersion active, so you can cast it and you just go to the person that damaged you last in the last 5 seconds. I don't know, is this good? I feel like the fact that the Ags is almost the same thing.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm way too stupid to understand if this is good or not. I did play carry with Capitalist Dota for about a month, and we lost 1,400 MMR. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the best Aghanim Shard in the game, at least top 5.
Oh, top 5, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the meme right now. We call everything a top 5 shard in the game.
Yes,
and this one is uncharted territory. I haven't seen it. I mean, I just have a problem, like, conceptually that both the Ags and the Shard are, like, relatively the same idea.
You have a lot of problems with Dota concepts.
That's true.
Let's get started with Legion Commander for a second.
No,
here.
don't. We're not going to get off on this tangent. I'll be, first of all, just the cosmetics alone. The fact that it's not somebody riding a fat horse with a mustache is a real issue with me. But that's another story.
I didn't even go there, but...
Yeah. The Dota 1 model is the greatest model of all time. But yeah, T1 has turned this game around completely, Jenkins. Despite being 2 barracks down, do you think, like, what was the turning point in your opinion?
I think T1 just playing really patiently and getting that like backline pickoff, playing the high ground, waiting for an opportunity to.
How many Forge Spirits have been killed by T1 this game? That's a good trivia question.
That's a very good question. Wait, what? Oh, how many? Okay, let's see. 69.
Okay, I'm gonna say 12.
I stand by my answer. No. Oh,
14.
Okay.
That was very close.
I was going for the gold value, obviously.
Okay.
And I was closer. You said 12.
Yeah, I think I win this one. Sorry, Jenkins. Sorry to break it to you. We have 3-man smoke down from T1. Now, what can Viking do to get back in this game? It's, like we said, it's flip-flopped. So, from the other side now, what can Viking do?
I think both lineups are not the... Both lineups are okay with going late. DK is probably like the underrated late game hero here, but he doesn't have an Ags yet.
Oh, Celery. You can see Zephyr and company now in the Moonlight Shadow of Celery.
Whew, he's crazy far out of base.
Yep, he sure is, but looks like he's going to be just fine.
Cuckoo's killing this creep, and he's like, why the hell is this thing so tanky? it was just an Enchantress Ursa sitting in the camp.
It's like the old days with the Ogre Magi.
Oh, yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, that was nice. Lifestealer used to be a Scourge creep model. Yeah. Ogre was a jungle creep.
Did that ever work because it was good, or were people just so bad at Dota back then?
What, the Lifestealer or the Ogre?
The Ogre.
I mean, Ogre, that's the only time I've ever seen is that one YouTube clip.
Okay. So we really did.
It was a classic, no doubt.
I didn't play back then, but... I
mean, there was a clip recently where somebody was infested in a creep, and they kind of did the same thing.
I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah.
That was SA DPC, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see the Spectre talents. I mean, these are like the very standard ones I feel like most people have been taking.
It's so hard to determine who exactly wins in the late game these days because there's 60-minute neutral items that all do ridiculous things. Every hero has crazy 25 talents that just make them Goku. You know, so then DK is just flying off of the map. Like, these things make it very hard to determine who exactly wins in the late game. And I feel like it's just often determined by who plays the map better, who's better at taking the right team fight, and, you know, getting the right jump. And T1, especially Cuckoo, has done such a good job with this. And then Whitemon staying alive and being that backline encounter initiator.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this 20 talent for Dragon Knight? I've seen a lot of people take the Dragon Form attack range in the Animajor. Obviously, the 20 strength is, I mean... obviously always going to be good for Dragon Knight in general. As we're going to have to hold that thought. Jenkins, Celery getting initiated on for now. Tornado from high ground. Does connect, but this is going to be a full static link. And yeah, Celery just he's healing a lot, but it won't be enough. There's too much damage.
I would imagine Razor's a pretty high win rate hero versus Enchantress. Against a lot of these heroes, honestly. Even Timbersaw. Any hero that wants to sit there and just, like, slowly heal or slowly, like, man-fight you, Razor's like, okay. He just peels through your armor, does so much damage.
Yeah, I feel like those stats that were just shown for the talent it makes sense that just the pure stats is always going to have a higher win percentage as Cuckoo. All right, initiate. Oh, he's going to pop the BKB, so we'll get out just fine. But anytime it's something like, I mean, the attack range only works during the ult.
Yeah,
right.
That's
so
true.
It can technically be situational, I guess.
I think also as an offlaner, you're not.
Wait, the win percentage is actually higher on that side.
I think as an offlaner, you're not going to have, like, you want to be tanky. You want to just go in and be the guy that starts fights. You're also not going to have, like, crazy stat items. If he's a mid DK, he might have some, like, overwhelming blink plus AC right now. So he actually does damage. And so the attack range makes sense if you have damage already. But as an offlaner, it's like the 20 strength is like, okay, finally I can do damage somehow.
It's also much smaller sample size as well, 15% versus 85% pick rate. So could be a little deceiving perhaps. As we see Spectre, he's actually going for a nullifier. One of the, I don't want to call this the item of the patch, but extremely good. Obviously dispelling the Ghost Scepter and any Yules and whatnot. So just wants to make sure that he can actually right click. He's actually going to use the Dispersion talent, I think. With that Manta style.
There's so many illusions.
Aramis already at half HP. He's going to haunt back in. Will they kill Aramis to start things out? Absolutely. And look how squishy Kezu is right now. Yeah, this is just getting out of control in T1's favor. Cuckoo just feels like he's just this really tanky guy that you can't kill, ever.
Yeah, he's literally flying over everything, including the entire map of Dota. So here we go, setting up on bot.
Yeah, Dragon Tail into Arrow, and yeah. Another Manta used for 23 Savage, and this is... He actually went Aghanim Scepter, so he has the upgraded version, if you want to call it, for the Shard.
He's haunting everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
very cool.
It's really cool. It does make a lot of sense when you have a two. I mean, they're winning, but we have a 2 racks deficit, right? So you can sit in base,
right,
and push out creep waves, and you have 3 different ways to get back into the fight. Yeah, it's like he uses 2 haunts.
He just becomes super mobile.
It's a lot of illusions as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the illusions do a lot of damage at this point.
Well, I was going to ask you this question, because it's not something that we see ever, is the 25 talent for Spectres, the 32% haunt illusion damage. Do you know if that is literally just for the ultimate, or will it apply with the Ags and the Shard?
That applies to everything.
So why not take that then? This would be the time to take it. We see the Dragon Tail, Arrow, not quite going to connect because of the 4-step coming out. But there's the Winter's Curse, and yeah, Luna is absolutely destroying her teammate right now. Shad gets bashed in the meantime with that BKB activated. Invoker's up in a couple seconds. You can see 23 Savage not too worried about his life right now, despite not having Aegis. Will TP out with the BKB. They forced a couple buybacks, and T1 will get out successfully, at least for now.
T1 is just such a disciplined team. I say that. Zephyr, he has one more lead.
Yeah.
Okay, good vision, though, from Viking.
Is up.
No, they don't team it.
Yeah, Roche is up. I mean, with the haunt down, and the Aghanim Scepter inside Roshan now, I feel like this is Vikings' only opening. This is their best way to come back into the game, is this Roshan.
We have haunt up in 9 seconds with the double damage on 23.
Yeah.
You can't fight this.
Yeah. Roshan, I mean, they are killing it pretty fast thanks to the alacrity. Cuckoo gets off a Breathe Fire to reduce some of that damage inside. And this could be the beginning of the end. Could be a 2-0 here for T1 if they're able to clean up this fight. Plasma Field comes out. Still trying to pressure the Roshan. Chad and company, I feel like they need to commit here. You can see the Dispersion talent, that Shard coming out. Oh, Static Link. They're going to get the bash off with that haunt. And yep, Luna is dead to start this fight. And that means Viking cannot win. 2 dead in the blink of an eye. Now the Lotus Orb reply, not going to be enough, though, as a right clicks. Double kill for Zephyr, 3 dead for Viking, and nobody even damaged, really, on T1 side. This is going to be the Ags, the Ags, Aegis, and Cheese.
T1's patience in these fights is...
Oh, Aramis trying to get some... good attempt here.
Cheese?
Can't get in the pit, though. He's just going to get static linked into the death now.
Yeah, T1's patience in these fights is really blowing my mind. We didn't have a great opportunity to, like, at the major, we're kind of watching all these games going on at the same time on 2 different screens from really far away. So it's nice to, like, in an actual replay, be able to watch how T1 is playing these fights.
Yeah.
They're really slowly kind of poking at Viking, and then only initiating, only going in when they see some opportunity to go on an important hero, or when something important has happened, such as like a BKB being wasted, or somebody stepping out of position. And it's really cool. I mean, usually you see just like, you see the enemies, you like jump, you go for the back lines, right? But T1, like the way they're doing it is they're kind of baiting Viking in and out, and then they're making those opportunities happen as this kind of like dance prior to the team fight happens. And it's just really cool to watch.
Yeah, and not that it matters that much. I just love talking about it, Jenkins. But Razor did pick up the Ags, so you're going to have that Eye of the Storm striking 2 different units, and it hits buildings as well. He's already going to build it
3
as well.
units. He has got the talent.
The 25 talent on top of that, and
the strike interval.
And the Refresher Orb.
Yep.
This hero is a monster when you get to this stage of the game.
Let's count the number of Eye of the Storms.
Uh-huh.
It's 6.
Okay.
I did the math.
You can see that the pick rate is much smaller for the +1, but that's because it's typically a different build.
Oh, God, my mind is blown. Okay, they dropped the Spell Prism on the ground, so Cuckoo could pick it up, press the Dragon form with no cooldown, and then they dropped it on the ground again, back to Carl, who's going to use it
that's good
for
stuff.
the Refresher Orb. Okay, that is blowing my mind. I've never seen anybody abuse that. I literally made some ESL video about that, because I couldn't think of anything to make. And I've never seen a team do it.
And now it's relevant. Unbelievable. As you can see the curse come out. And yeah, with a 37K net worth advantage, T1 should be able to take this relatively easily. Cuckoo, I mean, he's getting somewhat low. Kezu does a lot of damage to him at this stage of the game. But the racks, you can see that Razor just rips right through all the buildings right now. And T1 looking very strong. Despite being down in this game, they came back with a vengeance halfway through. As we're just seeing some cleanup kills into the fountain we go. I'm not even going to pretend to hypecast this because this game is mega over. GGs are called. So Viking will be going to the lower bracket, Mr. Jenkins.
Good Lord. I mean, what is there to even say? That's like the amount of ridiculously high